Aleena, I can't believe we're at this moment. You are the program member of Unshakeable You who watched the testimonial videos the most. And now it's your turn. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I can't believe it's like here. It's really here. Yes, it was a goal of mine when I first started. I'm like, and I'm going to be interviewed like that. That is to just be on one-on-one with Jenny, and instead of just getting into program, there's going to be an interview there. And yeah, I'm still kind of like in disbelief of everything still. So I'm slowly sinking into it, but yeah, we're here. Was looking at the past interviews. To be honest, I was like, are these people like paid like to say what they're saying? Like she's just recording them and like paid sponsors. Like they have to be being paid to say they're getting better and everything like that. And then but then I knew, okay, no, this is probably real. And then when I actually got into the program, and then I've seen Rosalie and Kate and Sam, I'm like, oh my gosh, like seemed like superstars to me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Rosalie. Like, actually a real person. Like I almost want to get an autograph. There I was like, okay, this is all real. So I'm just saying right now, I am not getting sponsored. This is all true story, true me.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. Just 6 months as well. Wow. So fast. So just go ahead and tell everyone what kind of prolapses you had and a little bit about your journey before you joined Unshakeable You.
Okay. So I was told that I have a stage 2 with my bladder. And then that was the main focus. And then as that kind of started slowly adjusting, there's like a point when I started getting to a 1, then the physiotherapist noticed that the uterus is also a 2. And she just said that maybe because the bladder was in the way, that's what she was focusing more. But as like things were starting to move away, then she noticed, yes, there was a 2. So that kind of was devastating because I was like, hey, I could deal with just one thing as a 2, but now you're telling me another thing. So, but at the same time, by that time I was in a better place. So I was like, okay, I think I could handle it. So yeah, so uterus a 2 and bladder 2. And now it's bladder being, she's saying a half, but it's more, she's like, I can't even really say again that it's really anything because it's just what you would see for somebody that's given birth. So she's like, so, but I've just got to document something. So yeah, so that's where I was.
Wow. How did you feel when she said that?
I'm just like, because when I went into the physical therapy, that appointment, and now, like I said, I've been just going back and trying to think of everything of like how this all happened. And I wasn't expecting to go and have her check me down, see where the prolapse was. Because again, by this time I was more focusing on like internal muscles, my leg muscles. We've been doing a lot of dry needling and stuff like that. But because she had told me that was going to be technically her last stay, she was now going to be going just as needed, and I won't be seeing her anymore. Because she was the one that diagnosed me from the very beginning, I was like, okay, you know what? How about, she'll always ask me, what do we want to work on today? And I was already going to have her do some internal work on me, just massaging some tense muscles.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, since you're already down there, and you're going to be leaving, do you want to just like look as, down there and just tell me? And she's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then that's when she came up with that results. And I was like, oh, like I wasn't even prepared for that results. But then too, because I haven't been really feeling any of the prolapse, like the prolapse is really at the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I guess it's not surprising, that with what she told me. So yeah.
Congratulations, Duncan. I'm so proud of you because like I said, we're the member who, you literally watch the healing videos, right? You watch them over and over again to help your belief. Can you tell everyone just a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, yeah, just I was always watching the videos. Like I said, I was already listening to other people,
Mhm.
uh, two particular ones that I really did like.
Yeah.
I still enjoy them. And then there was a time when you had stepped into one of the persons and they were interviewing you. And I just
Yeah.
remember you going and starting doing the scales on the interview. And I just sat there and I could feel every little single thing. And I was just like, wow, like, okay. And so from
Yeah.
there, again, I would just stay with, what they're teaching, but then I would always just go like, Facebook you or YouTube you and just do all that. And it always felt really good. So then I did one of your free workshops.
Yeah.
And, I did that. And again, I did maybe like two or three. I did one hyperpressive with Duncan, and then maybe one just you just explaining more about the
Yeah.
program. And
Yeah.
every single time it's more mainly on the emotional stuff. There's just hope. There's just so much hope brought back in. And I
Yeah.
remember in one of those workshops, I think I asked you like something about like, so could I like, I, I could get healed. And you have
Yeah.
always been the one that could say like, yes, like 100%. Like, it's not even like you're like, you're trying to pull from yourself. You just say it. And with the other ones, I just wasn't getting that. And I just needed to
Mhm.
hear that. And
Right.
so and I would go about my time. And then honestly, probably almost close to a year, you and I did an interview together. And and as so
Yeah.
much I wanted to get into it, just at that time it wasn't I couldn't at that moment. But I'm really glad I didn't, because I
Yeah.
really don't think I was fully ready and invested that I could really do this. Um, and then
Got it.
but in the meantime, I would just keep on listening to the interviews. And then later on, when I was like, my life was making a big adjustment where I was getting ready to step into a divorce. I had this free moment. I
Yeah.
was, okay, I'm getting my life back again. And it was my choice,
Yeah.
and it was as hard as it was. I'm very grateful that it happened, because again, I just wanted to get my
Mm.
life back, but I didn't know how to get this life back. And I think for
Yeah.
me, I was
Yeah.
I stepped into my 40s, and I felt good, but I was like, I'm going to make the 40s be the new 20s, and that was like my goal. But
Yeah.
then things happened. My health went crazy. I got the prolapse, and so everything just turned upside down. And now I felt like me stepping into divorce, I was getting ready to step back into having my life back again. But again, I
Yeah.
needed somebody to guide me. And I was like, there's no better person than this program. Unshakeable You. Like, I was like, okay, my goal was to step into this new 40s. My son is now 21. I feel like this is just a second
Yeah.
chance, to not there's nothing holding me back now except for myself. So now I got to break free
Yeah.
from myself, my fears, my beliefs, everything. But again,
Yeah.
I knew how to do it. And then I stepped into
Yeah.
your program. But before I did that, again, I started listening to your interviews, and there were times when I felt symptomatic, and I would listen to other things that just didn't hit me. And so then I would jump onto one of your old interviews with somebody
Mm.
else. And Rosalie really was one that I connected a lot to because of
Yeah.
the faith base.
Yes, of course.
And that was, you were speaking a different language. She was hitting me on another level too. And it just, that I listened to hers probably maybe two or three times. And
Got it.
every time I got back, nothing. I felt so good. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I knew this when I was going to do the second interview with you. I was like, nope, I'm going to be totally invested.
Yeah.
So that was a big reason why I stepped into the program.
Oh, well, we're so glad you did. Thanks, Rosalie. Maybe talk about that a little bit, Aleena. So how has it been? Because obviously a lot of women of faith come into our program. Talk about how have you blended our work at Unshakable You with your faith? How have you managed to do that?
Um, I mean, when we talk about like inner being, I think when I always think of inner being, I think of like Holy Spirit and the spiritualness of myself, my faith, like all that, you know. So it was not till like recently I was doing a process, and I've never really used inner being yet. I don't, and it's not like I have nothing against it. It's just never came out. I've
Got
always
it.
like my faith again, the Holy Spirit in me is guiding me, things like that. And then when I was doing a process, and I was pretty upset and angry, and I just needed something. Anyways, as I was doing the process, inner being is what I wrote out, and it did feel
Wow.
nice. And I was like, I've never used that word in my process before, but it's coming out, and it just, I
Yeah.
don't know, just more like, okay, I'm really setting into the understanding of this whole group program.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what I do appreciate is that we brought up in one of the Zoom calls, we had another member that was kind of having trouble too, like, how do I bring my faith base into this program? And I think this is what's so great about this program and you is that you allow us to bring those concerns, and we all talk it out. And
Yeah.
Rosalie stepped in and she kind of explained her.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something, but Rosalie was just hitting everything. So I was like, there's nothing more I need to add. But I think
Yeah.
for me, when I do my process in the morning, I'll do all my work. And then after that, I just kind of pray over it. And I'm like, okay, Lord, like,
Oh, fun.
done this program. I've laid out little things, you know, I'm stepping away. I'm going to leave it in your hands. And so I just pray that you bless over this emotional scale that I just did. And it just goes well with meditation plus just a short little prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I usually will blend a lot of them with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beautiful. I love how you did that. Wow. Thanks so much. That's going to help so many people. I love that. Yeah. Hand it
Yeah.
over to God. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talk about what other results you got in the program. So obviously you healed 2 prolapses as if that weren't enough, but you came in, you were going through a divorce. What other emotional results have you got in the program, Aleena? That's a big answer.
I was trying to like script all this
Oh,
stuff. And just, I have pages
God,
on
I love it.
pages and of just like, hey, what do I want to say? And all this stuff. And it just, I don't know. So I
Oh,
say everything that it says, but
yeah.
this program, and I'm still learning so much from this. Like, I don't even think I'm like, not even in the middle. I'm still at like the very peak of everything.
Yeah.
But I think what this program is teaching me again is to be able to manage my emotions. I think uh like you said, it's in the past when I wanted to feel good, I
Yeah.
would say, you're okay, and to be honest too, with having such strong faith,
Mm,
there sometimes what we can be taught is, you know you just got to have more faith. You just got to have more faith. You got to, like, say, just speak, goodness. But if I don't feel, I'm in fear right now. I'm not okay. Like, I am in fear, it's
yeah.
hard to connect that. And then I feel like I'm just being more resistance against my body. And it's now I look at it at that time, my body was just trying to cry out and be like, listen to me, just like listen to me.
Yeah.
And so now I stop and I'm like, okay, body, you're feeling in fear. Okay, let's work on that. And so you don't just stop in and listening to my body, listen to the emotions and then
Yeah.
letting it be through. And sometimes some of the processes that I've done, I could be starting at fear, but then maybe I will get to maybe only worry. But like you said,
Absolutely.
up the scale. And I'm like, okay, I could work with worry for today. I could go about my day. And then I'll come back to it tonight. And kind of sometimes it just kind of resolves on its own. But it's just, it's a lot of just managing my emotions and not letting the emotions control me. That is like a huge part of it. And I think that was what got me to get the prolapse. I've noticed for myself that I what they call, I guess, a highly sensitive person, knowing just that I really do feel feelings are strong. I really do feel for others, and that's why I'm in the healthcare field,
Yes, of course. Yes.
I mean, I could empathize with them, maybe not like to exactly what they're feeling, but I know when it's like you can't live life to the fullest because there's something that's limiting you with prolapse, working out, doing little things like that. You feel like you can't live life to your fullest. And so I empathize with my patients. I empathize with just a lot of people, but this program is teaching me how to have a balance with that and not let it control me. Because I think that was a huge problem that I just took on so much that it literally was breaking down, weighing down on my body, that things just started to shift. And so I think that's why I resonated so well with just, I feel like I wish, like sometimes I'm like, I should be doing more. I wish I did more. But really, I think for me, just listening to everybody's calls because of my strong feeling of feeling and empathize or empathy, that just works for me. I could feel your celebrations and I feel it myself too. And so, so I think just overall, this program is just learning how to control my emotions because that is a big problem of mine.
Although much less of one now, it seems, soon as you feel that's problem. But really great for everyone listening back to just hear you say, I took on the problems of the world. I was a highly sensitive person, an empath, and I walked feelings on my body, and that's why I got my prolapses. That's so amazing for people to hear. How many years are you past the postpartum window? How old is your son?
So I mean, my son's 21. And now that you say that, I'm thankful that you said that.
Yeah.
I think, I think for me, when I first got the prolapse, like I said, it's, again, contemplating, just overthinking this whole program of the healing and everything like that. But it didn't make sense for me getting the prolapse. My mind just works with, you got to do this. Results, you got to do this, and then you get the results. And so for me, when I got the prolapse, it didn't make sense how I got it. I was like, my son is, at that time, he was 19 years old. So I'm just like, what we're told about prolapse, or I guess what my belief is you've had lots of babies. I only had one. You have to give vaginal births. I had a C-section. You're older. Yeah. I was just barely turning 40,
You're 29 when you got it, right? Got them then, right?
Yeah. And then you got to be overweight. I've always stayed pretty healthy, and I'm not, I do workouts all the time. And so again, this didn't make sense to me. And I think that's what was so hard, is because I was like, why me? I've done everything. I feel like I've done everything right. It just doesn't make sense, And so again, with the healing, to me, I'm just like, but I haven't done enough processes. I haven't done enough hypos. I haven't done enough, I admire those that like ask a lot of questions or show their processes. I'm usually working, so it's a little bit harder.
Exactly.
So I just felt like I needed to do all this. So how did I get healed? This doesn't make sense to me. So my son was 19, and it again, but now, like I said, I could look at it and it's all emotion.
Yeah. I'll tell you how you healed. You did enough. I really want to explain to everyone watching, you don't need the perfect emotions. You don't need to be at the top of that emotional scale
Yeah.
every day. It's just making that switch. It's the awareness. It's knowing what you're doing in the moment. And I think you generally shifted a lot more than you realize. And give yourself credit because you showed up to almost every single call twice a week.
Yeah. If anything, yes, that's what I do. I do show up to all the calls
Even
as much
now.
as I can.
Yeah.
If I don't, it's because either I'm working or I have another appointment. But other than that, I am always there listening. I'm very present. And I think just kind of going back to now, like looking back, I think, yes, the program had taught me so much, but I think I kind of was already doing stuff. You just now helped me name what I was doing.
Yeah.
When I first got the prolapse, I was dealing with some other health issues, and I had dealt with interstitial cystitis about
Yeah.
5 before. But what got me, and I feel like too, that was all emotional. It's like the time that was what I was going through at that time, I know for sure that was more emotional work. But what
100%.
got me through it was exercise, Pilates, yoga,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Vigorous exercise really helped me. And where I was symptom free for goodness, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then again, life started getting stressful again. And it was first I got tinnitus. And then after that was the ICs started flaring up again. And I was like, hey,
Yeah.
and then prolapse. And then I was devastated because I was like, okay, I can't move now. So
Yeah.
how am I supposed to heal all this stuff when I knew this works? And so that really was hard. So in the meantime, I've just done a lot of walking. And on my phone, I have pictures of just flowers, water stream.
Wow.
And I kind
Good
of
for you.
I do want to print those out. And I definitely will name the album as Beauty During Hard Times, because when I would look at,
Oh,
I couldn't take a picture of just any flower. Like I would look at the flower and I would feel that it somehow soothed me. And so I would take
yeah.
a picture of it. Just
Yeah.
whatever I noticed just kind of somehow made me feel good. I took a picture
Yeah.
of it. And so now getting into this program, I can't remember what the process is about like, okay, think of
Positive aspect.
food that
Yeah.
brings you peace.
Yeah.
Think of a event that brought you calmness. I'm like,
Wow.
I was really doing all of that stuff. I just didn't have a name to what I was doing. And so again, I
Incredible.
think the thing that Unshakable You has now brought names to situations of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I think just real quick, another one is compared to other programs. Um,
Mhm.
I again, I think they would show me how to like uh fix fix the problem
Yeah.
physically. Oh yeah, they would help me fix the problems physically. And that one thing, kind of going back to my physical therapist, again, she was just a saint. When I started seeing her, I
Oh,
was emotional wreck. Like I would go in there, she would do what I need to do, and then surprisingly, somehow I always walked out feeling better. But a lot of it is because we were talking about what my emotions. And
right.
then there was to a
Yeah.
point she had told me, Aleena, this is more emotional. She's like, I could show you all the physical tools, you
Yeah.
know, you're doing them, but she's like, this is more on emotional base right now. And so she's the
Yeah.
one that advised me, I think you need to go see a therapist. I am here for you. We will always talk, but there's more work that you need to do that I can't do, you know,
Yes.
physical therapist. And so I was like, okay. And so then I started seeing a therapist, and luckily I fell into another person who's just a great person. So she was
Yeah.
helping me out. And so, yeah, like I said, I think doing other programs, there's a
Yeah.
lot of emphasizing on physical stuff. Again,
Yes.
this program, it's really not even, I mean, yeah, you do the hypopressives, but a lot of it is just on emotional work. And so I think this is why this is the best of the best.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, we think you're the best of the best as well. Oh. That's just amazing. I love how you've explained it, and I think you can often explain it better than I can. So I'm just so excited for people to listen and actually hear it said from somebody who has healed that it is all emotional at root. So,
Yeah.
what are some results that potentially surprised you, Aleena? Is there anything surprising along the way?
I think again, because my mind's on emotions, my big problem
Yeah,
was
tell us.
being able to handle that. You know, I'm not, again, I'm not perfect at it, but
Yeah,
able to step into situations that would really, like in the past, I wouldn't have been able to step into. And
yeah.
so doing a process or just being able to just put onto paper whatever
Mhm.
I'm feeling and then step into like, oh, okay, I got this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I wish I was not a person that you have to push me against the wall for me to move.
Right.
And so, but that's how I am. But I feel
Yeah,
like I'm able to do a little less of me being pushed against the wall because I have a tool that's
yeah.
taught me this program that I could, you know, kind of handle the situation before it starts handling me. So that's, I think, just a big thing. Um,
Can you give us a tangible example of a situation? Can you think of anything that you can now handle, whereas before would have been really challenging?
um, goodness. I would say I'm trying to think of this a laugh. You know, well, so a last situation was just on a conflict with a person that I know of. Um,
Right,
yeah, I wasn't sure this, you know, this how to handle this situation. And I never even talked to this person. And I feel like I don't
right.
even need to because again, I've written everything out. But yeah, I there was a situation at work and I what kind of threw me by surprise. Again, I know it would probably like wreck my day, my mind, just put fear into me. But then doing a process, it just you just kind of walk in with a little bit more confidence and just like water off a duck's back, you know, that's just and that's
Amazing.
really just all I need. It's like again, I just not having to worry about the other person, just you
Mhm.
just being able to handle yourself again. And then
Yeah,
things somehow
yeah.
get better. I don't know. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Um,
it. That's you changing your vibration. Yeah.
um yeah. I think I'm a little bit more daring in situations to step into. Um where before I would feel like I need to have again, my ducks need to be in a row for me to make this move.
Yes.
And doing this program helps you just kind of step into I don't know how it's going to work, but here I'm going to do these processes and
Mm.
how just give to the universe, give to God, whatever, and you just step into the program. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely growing for sure, growing as an individual with from this program.
I love it. And that's why we made it lifetime access.
Yeah,
So that you can just
yes.
go at your own pace, right? And keep going.
Yes. Yes. Because like you said, we're always we're
Yeah.
growing. We'll always have contrasts, you know. That
Yeah.
too. I think yes, looking at contrasts. There we go.
Yes.
I see it again, I'm not the best at it, but I see it as a good thing, you know, like
Yeah.
there's growth to it. It's you
Yeah.
like, okay, come on, let's have it. Let's handle you know, type of
Yeah.
thing. And yes, so yeah, it helps that this is a lifetime because
Mm.
we have a lifetime of different works that we're having that's going on, and so it really makes it so nice. I did do a one program like a while back. It was just not anything with like physically, it was just more like in a relational stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't remember how long that program lasted, uh maybe like 9 months. and for me, again, I'm an observer. So I felt like when I first started, I was just observing, listening, trying to figure out how to do what the work that they were providing us.
Got
And then
you.
when
Yeah.
I was getting ready to step in, it ended. My 9 months ended, and I'm like, but I still have so much. So with this one, I'm so grateful that we do have a
Yeah.
lifetime. And I've noticed that, yeah, there's some members that have maybe been gone for a while, and then they peek up
Yeah.
on and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with this issue. And it just brings more. When I see that, I'm just like, wow, like this program, Jenny, Duncan, you guys are here with us for a good while.
Oh yeah. You got us for life now.
Yes, yes.
So, Aleena, what's next? You've healed your prolapses. You can,
Uh-huh.
I know you used to love before getting prolapse. You used to love bar, you used to love Pilates, super. What kind of activities now you've healed are you going to go back to, or are you going to try new things?
Yes. Well, no, go back. Those ones that brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Um, and I've done yoga just a little bit here and there, just really
Yeah.
light ones. So I think there's a lot of people that I do follow that I do like their exercises. And so I'm
Yeah.
eager to step into doing their exercises again and joining them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would like to start jump roping. That always brought me a
Yay!
lot of joy,
Fantastic.
because it's like, it's such a great workout, and you could do it. I mean, if you do it 5 minutes, it's just enough to just kind of get you going. And so, um, things like that is what
Yeah.
I would like to do. I was kind of going back when you had asked me a while ago, like, so what's next? I was like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
And I've been just kind of writing down the things that I want to do. I think for
Oh,
me,
tell us. Yeah.
and there's simple things, but going on a
Yeah.
roller coaster. I
Oh, yeah.
the year that I was told that I had the prolapse, um, I mean, I love amusement parks. Summer is my favorite month, so I'm all about amusement parks,
Oh,
carnivals, all that
yeah.
stuff. And so my family, they were going to amusement park that we have here in my state.
Yeah.
I didn't go because, I obviously I had the
Yeah.
prolapse. I didn't make anything worse. And that just broke me, because my son
Yeah.
and I were so close. So I think he ended up going, but it made me sad that I couldn't
Yeah.
join, so roller coasters,
Yes.
working out, jet skiing,
Yeah. Oh,
I put,
I'll see what it is, my friend.
jet skiing, jumping, I have a pull-up bar,
Yeah, fantastic.
uh ab exercises. So jumping up on the pull-up bar, sledding, we have great
Yeah, of
here, and I
course.
that aside. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
being a kid, all kid,
Oh,
adventure kind of stuff
yeah.
I want to get into. So
Oh, I love it. You and I are very similar. I think I have to come over and do all those things with you.
yeah.
Yeah. And you got your life back. And what about your newfound confidence? Because it's like night from the person I met. I mean, I
Hmm.
remember you telling me some things because it's an in-depth interview when I first interview all of our members when I interviewed you. I remember you talking a lot about confidence. Is there anything that you feel more confident to do now that you didn't do before? Potentially something that's not exercise? Is there anything else?
I think, um confident wise, again, being able to approach situations that I know that they're going to be a little bit difficult. Again, I'm a people pleaser,
Right.
and so I do not like conflict.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You.
this, I guess, with that, having confidence is again, I'm not 100%, but it's given me a tool to
Yeah.
tackle those situations. And really, when I first got this prolapse, and the prolapse it's been a blessing. It's kind of crazy, that
Yeah.
I could say, I don't know with full confidence, but I think a good portion of me is I'm grateful for what it's brought into my life, my
Oh,
physical therapist, you guys, the knowledge that I've learned, um, and taken with that, I was at another job, and I had been there for a while, but again, I got so comfortable, but I knew I need to change because emotionally this is not working for me anymore. I was crying over patients' rooms. I was leaving just crying in my car. I was like, why am I like, what is going on with me right now? You know,
Yeah.
led up to the prolapse, but
Yeah, sure.
I and then I got the prolapse, and again I knew something needed to be changed, but I was like, I'm broken right now. I can't move. I can't change anything. Like if I move into another job, like am I going to make myself worse? But then I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go at it. Like I'm gonna step into another job. And I don't think I would have if I didn't have the prolapse. And so I took the risk and jumped into another job. It brought a new environment that actually was better for me. And then I was offered a position within that same job, kind of as a leader, you know?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm not a leader. I've never thought of a leader connected to my name.
Yeah.
Then I said, you know what? You know, I'm all about growth right now. I'm trying to shake myself from myself. So I'm going to
Yeah.
step into this position. And so I stepped into the position and it's been great, but I don't think I would have been able to handle that position if not for the program. Now, like I said, everything's slowly coming to me because in my office, I have the little emotional scales.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so sometimes when I'm walking in there and I know, okay, I really don't want to be here. There's just maybe you're having a bad day from the previous shift. I have my little scale and I will just stop and I'll start looking through it, or I'll close my office door and I'll do a process. And then I feel good. I'm like, all right, I could start this day, you know? And so yes, if I didn't have this program, I don't think I would have been able to handle this lead position. But I got it. So it helps me process my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're essentially telling everyone that this program helps you in every area of your life. You don't just come in and work on your thoughts about your prolapse. You work in and we cover everything, don't we? We cover every topic on the planet, don't we?
Yes. I really don't think on the calls we I mean, we don't really bring up keyword, the prolapse word that often. It's all about different
No, we don't.
things, which again is what helped me is because again, I know that I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. I'm also very sensitive to words, I've noticed. And so I first started into the physical therapist. For a while, she took away the survey because I would have to grade what my symptoms were, and it was all focused on prolapse. And I would go in there with no symptoms and then walk into meeting with her with symptoms because of just rounded to it. And then like, again, with other programs, even other Facebook groups, it was so emphasized on prolapse that it didn't work well for me. I had to almost like take away that word away. And so again, this program, because we don't really bring it in, we're all there for that reason, but we don't find out that it takes that word away, that you just focus on other amazing things. And you're just like, oh, again, and it makes you just feel safe and calm. At least for me, it's brought definitely calmness. You know, like I said, we're talking about maybe opening up a business, moving into a different house, you know, having issues with like family members. It's
everything.
It's a program for every single little thing in our human earthly life.
It is. It's all of it. Absolutely. I love the way you put that. And just speak a little bit about the group. How have you found the support of all the other women, Aleena?
They're wonderful. They're so good. They're all beautiful women inside and out. You know, you do feel safe. You could be vulnerable. I mean, like some of the topics that we have brought up. I was actually making I was laughing at some of the things that we've talked about is, I mean, we get excited about each other when we're like, oh, I pooped. I had sex for the first time for a while. I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny all the things that we bring up. And I love it when again I'm more of the observer, I'm more of the listener. And maybe there's some things that I want to say, but I'm like, oh, I feel like maybe I might get judged or something like that. It's just me, talking. But then I'll hear people say, they'll come out and they're feeling vulnerable, but they stepped out and they're talking about it. And it just right there just makes you feel good that, oh, okay. And you don't have any judgment against that person. You're listening to them. So in their vulnerability, I feel like it helps me just opens up, and it just, we have a beautiful, beautiful group in this program. And Jenny, you yourself is amazing. I don't think there's nothing that we can't throw at you that you can't ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, this little woman is amazing. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, she is seriously a superwoman. And that I think with that, like, you are a superwoman, and we also are becoming superheroes ourselves. Like, it really is kind of crazy. Like, you always mention something, how much we can move worlds. And it's like, it's really true. Even if it's within the world of just even in our home and our workplace. I was just thinking, I was just like, man, if Jenny could be at everybody's births and like give us a handbook of emotional, everything in this process, the world would be just amazing at what we really can do. And I'm like, it's sad that we don't get these tools and we haven't got taught. But for me and the women in the group, we're making generational changes. It's crazy, like how much the knowledge that I'm learning, we're making a world of change in our own home, in our own kids, and then their kids, and just over and over. It's just, it's crazy. And even in your workplace, how much, I will share certain little things. I actually have a good friend, and her daughter is dealing with some emotional issues that she doesn't know how to handle. And so I told my friend, I said, hey, this is the work that I'm doing. This is how I manage my emotions. And so now she's trying to teach her daughters how to deal with those stuff. So it just, you're making us to all superheroes.
Oh, I love it. Well, Duncan and I talk about the ripple effect a lot, and the ripple effect is huge. Every single one of you, when you go out, and the ripple you have now, you've just touched somebody's life and her daughter, and it just goes on and on and on. And that's what we're all about. That ripple effect in the world is just powerful.
And I think even being a healthcare myself, I do get very frustrated with the healthcare system, of how much we put. And I'm surrounded by doctors, great doctors, nurses, but we learn our knowledge from our books, and we put everybody in, the same category, and a lot of band-aids to stuff. And I just, it breaks my heart. And so I think for me, just as a healthcare worker, I don't know how yet, but I try and implement that into how I care for people. And I think that is something of a goal later on. I don't know how, but I would love me to do something in that way, make sure I don't have to take care of people because they're already on how to take care of themselves. I feel like as healthcare, when it gets slow in the hospital, we're like, dang it, we need some more sick people. We need people to get harmed so we could get some work. And we were talking about that, and I'm like, that just sounds so, it's not really good. And so now I feel like I don't know, again, I don't know how, but I want to change something where I'm like, I want to get and help people before they get to the point. And so, I can do that with I implement what I learned here into work. So
I love it. Well, we'll watch that one unfold in the program. Aleena, I want to ask you a question, because people email me probably every single day saying, I really want to join your program, But my deepest fear is that I'm the one person who won't heal and won't be able to do it. What would you say to those women that are feeling that way? Because I know it took you a while to join. So
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to them to help them?
Step into it. Find a way, step into it. Because again, it's not even the healing that you're, I mean, that literally it's a bonus. It's a bonus to be healed. But what you gain from this is so much more on top of more and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to not only heal your prolapse, but tackle so much things and how to manage things to become like really a better human version of yourself,
Yeah.
this is the program. What you pay, it doesn't even amount to, I mean, it doesn't even compare to the riches and all that stuff that you will gain from this program. It's pennies compared to what comes out of this program. Like, and again, it's a
Oh,
lifetime.
yeah.
A lifetime. That's
Yeah.
that's a gift right there from you and Duncan. Like, that is seriously a gift. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
how much, especially you, Jenny, how much time you put into it. The calls that we do Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, my physical therapist, she was saying, my goal is to eventually not have you have to see me anymore. She's like, I love you. I like seeing you, but I don't want, I'm gonna like branch you off. And again, I'm very comfort. I get clingy. I want, like, no, you're
Yeah.
my safety net. You're my safety net. I don't know how I'm going to do life without you. That's how I felt with her. And then it was our visits were like weekly. Then it went down
Yeah.
to another week, and then a month, and then 3 months as I slowly started getting my wings. The same
Yes.
therapist. I was every week. Then it went to every other week, then so on and so on. And her thing is, I care about you, but I also, my goal is to have you not have to always
Yeah.
lean on me. You know how to deal with this situation. So when I was coming to that point, that was another reason what helped me jump into the program is I'm like, okay, I need somebody there to kind of help guide me.
Yeah.
And this is where this program came. I have access to it. I mean, 24/7, really. I mean, like, I could go on Facebook, I could read all the stuff, I could throw in questions, I get feedback again and again. It doesn't have to be all on prolapse. It's about, hey, I'm dealing with a breakup, or this person really pissed me off, or, it's something like that. And then the
Yeah.
call, every call is there, your Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're a good amount. It's just, you have really stepped into the physical therapist and my therapist position to eventually,
Mm.
yeah, there's going to be a time when I won't need the therapist anymore, because
Yeah.
Unshakeable was enough. And really, I'm enough myself because of all the stuff that you have taught me. And so the time that you give us, Jenny, it's honestly, it's a huge free gift to us of all the knowledge that you provide us. And again, we could throw so many stuff at you, and you always have some way to like answer it. And it's just from the silliest to like the most difficult. I would think there's just nothing that surprises you, shames you, like throws you off. You are so open. We all become open books, like our minds become more open. And you
Yeah.
allow us to be us. You allow us to, like I said,
Mm.
me having such upbringing and faith, you allow me to bring that to the group, and you just allow us to be us. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me crying. Thank you. That's lovely to hear. That was our intention, so it's great to hear back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I see it for others, but I don't see it for me. I
Yeah.
and just, I don't know. It's like yeah, I don't see it. And this healing
Yeah.
is like, wow, it's a miracle, because again, we're told surgery, it's going to
Yeah.
get worse. It's all the negative. And here, I did the impossible. There you go. Yeah.
You performed a miracle on it. You did.
It's a miracle right there. It's a miracle right there. So